Yo, America! Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the one wearing a cost of living name tag. Spoiler alert, it's crushing young people's dreams. We're working harder, earning less, and drowning in bills. This ain't a generational gap, it's a freaking canyon. Think about it. Basic needs, food, rent, healthcare, are skyrocketing. Meanwhile, wages are playing catch-up at a snail's pace. It's like trying to outrun a cheetah on a tricycle. Spoiler alert, the cheetah's gonna win. We're told to work hard, get a good job, and you'll be fine. But the game is rigged, my friends. The rules have changed. Just ask any millennial or Gen Z trying to make ends meet. They'll tell you, the American dream feels more like a fever dream these days. It's time to call out this economic injustice. We're not just complaining, we're demanding change. This is our future on the line, and we're not backing down. Buckle up, America. It's about to get real.
Let's start with the basics, keeping a roof over our heads. Remember when renting an apartment didn't mean choosing between food and shelter? Yeah, me neither. Today, rent is eating up a ridiculous chunk of young people's income. We're talking insane rent hikes, bidding wars for apartments, and landlords with more demands than a Hollywood diva. It's like the Hunger Games, but for a studio apartment with leaky faucets. The housing market is straight up bananas. Low inventory, high demand, and investors scooping up properties like they're going out of style. It's enough to make you want to live in a van down by the river. If you could afford the van, that is. This isn't just a big city problem either. Small towns, suburbs, everywhere's feeling the heat. The American dream shouldn't involve living in a cardboard box, but that's the reality for many young people. Time to build some affordable housing, people.
Hold up, it gets worse. Getting sick in America is basically a part-time job. You gotta navigate confusing insurance plans, decipher medical bills written in hieroglyphics, and pray you don't get hit with a surprise bill that bankrupts you. Seriously, going to the doctor shouldn't feel like playing Russian roulette with your finances. But that's the reality for millions of young people who are uninsured or underinsured. We're talking about basic necessities here, folks. A trip to the ER shouldn't cost more than a semester of college. A routine checkup shouldn't require a GoFundMe page. Healthcare is a right, not a privilege reserved for the wealthy. It's time to get real about healthcare reform. We need a system that works for everyone, not just insurance companies and big pharma. No more band-aid solutions. Let's fix this broken system once and for all.
Remember when getting a college degree was the ticket to a better life? Well, that ticket now comes with a hefty price tag: student loan debt. We're talking trillions of dollars in debt, folks. That's more than the GDP of some countries. We're told education is the key, but then we're handed a bill that'll take decades to pay off. It's like getting a car loan for a Ferrari, but ending up with a used Toyota Corolla. And don't even get me started on the rising cost of tuition. It's like colleges are competing to see who can charge the most for a textbook. This is supposed to be about education, not extortion. We need to make college affordable again. Tuition hikes need to be curbed, and student loan forgiveness programs need to be expanded. Education should be a pathway to opportunity, not a one-way ticket to debt city.
Section 5. Millennials and Gen Z swimming in debt, drowning in costs. Let's talk about the real victims of this cost of living crisis, millennials and Gen Z. We're the ones graduating with mountains of debt, entering a job market that's more competitive than ever, and facing a housing market that's downright hostile. We're delaying marriage, putting off having kids, and living with roommates well into our 30s. And it's not because we're lazy or entitled, it's because we're trying to survive. We're working multiple jobs, side hustling like crazy, and still struggling to make ends meet. We're the most educated generation in history, yet we're drowning in debt and priced out of the American dream. It's time to stop blaming avocado toast and start addressing the real issues: stagnant wages, rising costs, and an economic system that's rigged against us. We're not asking for handouts. We're demanding a fair shot at a decent life.
Section 6. Trapped in childhood bedrooms, the boomerang generation. Remember moving out of your parents' house and finally having your own space? Yeah, that's not happening for a lot of young people these days. We're the boomerang generation, forced to move back in with mum and dad because we can't afford to live on our own. It's not just because we miss mum's cooking, although, let's be real, that's definitely a perk. It's because rent is ridiculous, wages are stagnant, and the whole system is set up to keep us financially dependent. We're trading independence for financial stability, delaying adulthood because we can't afford to be adults. And while living with family can have its benefits, it can also be stressful, cramped, and, let's be honest, a little embarrassing. The cost of living is forcing us back into our childhood bedrooms, but it's not because we want to, it's because we have to. We need affordable housing options, better wages, and a system that supports young people, not just older generations.
Section 7. Delayed dreams, love, family, and finances? Remember when falling in love meant dreaming about the future, not stressing about the finances? Yeah, those days are long gone. The cost of living crisis is impacting our love lives, forcing us to put off marriage, kids, and even dating. Who has time for romance when you're working 3 jobs just to pay rent? Who can afford to start a family when diapers cost more than a car payment? The financial burden is real, and it's putting a strain on our relationships. We're delaying milestones, questioning our life choices, and wondering if we'll ever be financially stable enough to build the future we dream of. The cost of living is turning love into a luxury, and that's just not right. We deserve to experience the joys of love and family without the constant worry of finances. We need a system that supports families, provides affordable childcare options, and makes it possible to build a future without going bankrupt.
Section 8. The crushing weight of financial anxiety. Let's talk about the elephant in the room that nobody wants to address, the mental health toll of this economic crisis. We're not just struggling financially, we're drowning in anxiety, stress, and despair. We're constantly worried about money, comparing ourselves to others on social media, and feeling like we're failing at life. The pressure is relentless, and it's taking a toll on our mental well-being. We're seeing a rise in anxiety, depression, and even suicidal thoughts among young people. The constant financial strain, the pressure to succeed, the feeling of being trapped, it's all adding up. It's time to start talking about the mental health impact of this crisis. We need more accessible and affordable mental health resources, destigmatization of mental health issues, and a society that prioritizes well-being over wealth.
Section 9, meet Sarah, John, and Maria. Stories from the Edge. Let me introduce you to Sarah, a recent college graduate drowning in student loan debt. She's working 2 jobs just to make ends meet, but the bills keep piling up. She dreams of starting her own business, but the financial burden feels insurmountable. And there's John, a single dad working full-time but struggling to provide for his kids. He's constantly worried about making rent, putting food on the table, and giving his children a better life. He's exhausted, burnt out, and feels like he's failing his kids. Then there's Maria, a young professional who's been laid off twice during the pandemic. She's terrified of losing her apartment, her car, her ability to survive. She's lost hope, feeling defeated by a system that seems rigged against her. These are just a few faces of the cost of living crisis. Millions of young people are struggling, their dreams deferred, their spirits crushed by the weight of financial burden. It's time to listen to their stories, amplify their voices, and fight for a better future.
Section 10, building a better future, solutions, not band-aids. All right, enough doom and gloom, let's talk solutions. We need real systemic change, not just band-aid solutions that temporarily mask the problem. First things first, affordable housing. We need to build more affordable housing options, regulate rent increases, and crack down on predatory lending practices. Everyone deserves a safe and affordable place to live. Next up, wages. It's time to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, close the gender pay gap, and ensure that all workers are paid fairly for their labor. And let's not forget about healthcare. We need universal healthcare that's accessible and affordable for everyone, regardless of income or employment status. Healthcare is a right, not a privilege. Finally, let's address student loan debt. We need to make college affordable again, expand student loan forgiveness programs, and create a system that doesn't saddle young people with crippling debt.
Section 11, hope on the horizon, our fight for a fair shot. Look, I know things seem bleak right now, but I'm not here to sugarcoat it. The cost of living is crushing young people, and we're tired of it. But amidst the struggle, there's hope. We're a generation that's resilient, resourceful, and ready to fight for a better future. We're organizing, mobilizing, and demanding change. We're raising our voices, sharing our stories, and holding those in power accountable. We're not going to accept a future where we're drowning in debt, priced out of our dreams, and struggling to survive. We deserve a fair shot at a decent life, and we're not going to stop fighting until we get it. So let's keep pushing for change, demanding better, and creating a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive, not just survive. The fight won't be easy, but together we can build a better future for ourselves and generations to come. Stay angry, stay engaged, and never lose hope.